We'll see what happens. We'll get the vibe.
Yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Should we wait for some people to join in on us? I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're live, so we'll just see. I'm going to. Yeah. Let's do this. Although I'm not really sure how we're going to see comments pop in here, but
guys, this is a test run, so before anybody starts crucifying everybody to the wall, this is test things out tonight. I see it says comments. Okay, here. If you click on the comments, there's live viewer comments showing up on StreamYard. Just an example, so it will show up right there on the side. Okay. I don't know how you tell if people are watching it or not, or what, or
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
How come on mine it says log in? So I'm logged in though, right?
Yeah, you're logged in.
Okay,
because I'm seeing you on the broadcast.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to. This is all new for me, so I'm trying to navigate here. I do like the background. That looks great.
Yeah,
looks great. Looks great. It's looking real good. Real good. I can see him here. Okay. So guys, if you watch this, this will be available for recording afterwards, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna download it to YouTube.
Right on. But we'll be able to watch it on Facebook again, or no?
Yeah, I should be able to. Actually, we're broadcasting on. Yeah, I should be able to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything seems like it's working good. You can hear me fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ripper Chickens is showing up pretty good. Your graphics showing up pretty good. I do like the background though. It's kind of like it's floating around, like it's falling. That shit looks pretty tight though. I like it. I like it looks real good.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
Well, I did share it to FMA discussion, so we'll see if anybody.
I did too as well.
Okay.
But my question is, do people know to come to this page?
I think they do. Because I did post it from the Fight House Talks page in Instagram.
Hopefully, you don't think it's going to be on FMA discussion or something.
Well, we'll find out. We can just sit here and bullshit until then.
Yeah. So if you watch this recording, we're not going to post this to YouTube anyway. I don't think, right?
Well, it's already on YouTube right now.
Is it? Oh shit, we're screwed. We're fucked. We're fucked. Can I say fucked?
I don't know. As long as it's not within the first 30 seconds, so she'll be fine.
Oh,
reading.
That's the okay. That's the threshold. Is the 30-second threshold. So since we're on here or not, let's just go ahead and talk about. I kind of want to get some people to come on here so we start talking about the mission statement and stuff like that. Not mission statement, we were here for. Let's pop it up there. So guys, just in case you notice, we're obviously in two different time zones. I'm in Mountain Time and you're in Pacific, right?
I'm in Alaska.
Alaskan time. Okay, so it's 1 hour behind Pacific, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it is 6:05 here and 4:05 in Alaska.
Yep.
So this is kind of unique because we're doing from the frozen tundras of Alaska and then the shitty ass fucking desert of New Mexico, where radioactivity and nuclear blasting and Indian reservations and everything comes all at once. So it's the land of enchantment, is a land of weirdness. So yeah, we got everything from Roswell, alien landings, which is cool, to the movie Them, the 1954 sci-fi movie was filmed here at Holloman Air Force Base where I work at. Some of that was filmed in Mojave as well, Edwards Air Force Base. So yeah, I'm in the land of entrapment, or excuse me, enchantment they call it. And Coach Kurt is in the land of grizzly bears and giant mosquitoes and what else? What else we got?
Northern Homer is like it's halibut, it's hippies, a lot of fishing.
Oh, I love fucking halibut, dude. I love halibut. God, in fact, I'm gonna go get some tomorrow. Obviously, I live in the desert, so it has to be flown in overnight. But I mean, it's something that I love grilling halibut. I love it. Swordfish, halibut, any kind of white meat like that, fish. I love it. That's good shit. Um, so we're still waiting for some people to come on here, but
Yep.
even if people don't come on here, we're just going. You can watch the recording later on. So, Fight House Talks podcast was kind of a little thing that we both came up with. We were not. I don't want to say we were tired of seeing the same stuff on these podcasts that we've been seeing on. We kind of want to bring a fresh outlook and take, not just martial arts. We're not going to talk about snuffing each other out, beating the fuck out of each other, throwing people in jail, stuff like that. What rules there are for fighting or whatever. No, this is about. We're going to talk candid and freely about just life in general, martial arts, actual violence, street violence. Both me and Coach Kurt have both encountered real street violence in one way or another. I mean, we're not saying I'm Kimbo fucking Slice or something, backyard fights, but we've had our fair experiences of altercations in the streets. And by no means am I an expert on street fighting and stuff. I'm just trying to share with you guys some altercations and stuff I've had before. Coach Kurt will share what he can with what stuff he's had. But the way that I think that excuse me, our podcast is different is that we're going to be more discussion based with mild interview in between. So we want to talk about real topics. These are topics that you guys that watch the show can also leave in comments or direct message us and see. I guess what I'm trying to say, and I think Coach Kirk could probably elaborate better on this, is like we want your guys' feedback because without the audience, like the shows don't thrive and exist. So we want audience interaction in this podcast. We want you guys to come up with ideas. We want to spark conversation. We want to spark candid thinking. We want your brain to turn around, and rotate the light bulb in there. We want everybody to be involved in this. And you don't have to be on the show physically, but I mean, in comments or just even viewing the recordings. So that's pretty much, I think that the goal we're trying to go for. This isn't a popularity contest for us. We do this as a hobby, guys. This isn't to gain channel views on YouTube, to make money. This isn't to become the top guys, on podcasts, to cause controversy, to piss people off. Although we may inadvertently piss people off with some of the conversations we have because it may be too candid for some people, or too raw, or too uncensored. The intention is in a good place. It's never meant to put anybody down. It's meant to get people thinking, get people talking. And I think that's what we need more of, is to get people talking, get you guys to think about what we're talking about, not just knee-jerk emotional reactions because you don't like the way I look because you think I'm an asshole, which most people think I am. Or, you think that Coach Kurt's rubber chicken, you don't like it or something like that. This is, it's for you guys. I mean, it's not really for us, so to speak, right, Coach Kurt? I mean, it's kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I take the discussion part, the conversation part quite literally, because what we're trying to avoid, at least what I'm trying to avoid, is confirmation bias and creating a space of an echo chamber. Because if we keep hearing the same thing over and over and over, that's when we're going to start to believe it, even though that may be good or bad or otherwise. We need to have candid conversations. We need to have discourse. We need to have disagreement and debate things in a Socratic approach so we can not be stuck with the same dogma and rhetoric that's being force fed to us by whatever sources on social media. So by having a discussion that allows us to at least process through, especially this long form discussion, it allows us to process through complex thoughts, difficult topics, and go through the whole course of the emotional high, low, and have catharsis at the end. So we're able to accomplish some work. Because at least with what I would like to see is people actually asking really tough questions and seeing how we can discuss it in such a way that is productive. Even though, I mean, there's going to be some stuff in here that's going to be really hard to talk about. But I mean, we need to have hard conversations so we can find peaceful solutions in the end. So,
And I
yeah.
think what I want everybody to know too on here is this isn't an agenda, guys. We're not social media influencers. We're not we're not YouTube stars. We're just a couple of regular dudes who love martial arts, who love combatives. There is no agenda here. We're not trying to, we will promote people on the show. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to take sides. And that's one thing I want to make apparent and clear going forward with the show. We're not going to be putting people down, belittling them. Everybody's a right entitled to their own opinion. Just like we may, obviously, there's disclaimers on every show that you go on that the views, and opinions of the show not necessarily reflect, whatever company you're doing or whatever. Just because we have our opinions and views doesn't mean that, we have an agenda, like we're trying to evil conspiracy behind what we're doing. We're just honestly talking about things that we may disagree with, may agree with, things that we think are of value to the community and the arts. Things that will add value, I think, are more productive than going and putting everybody down and talking shit. And there'll be some shit talking. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there will be some shit talking. Not too bad, but no names will be called. If you follow different things, you're probably gonna see it and know who it is already by talking about it. But this is our opinions. It's my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it. That's why it's our show. We decided that we were tired of being, like you said, spoon fed, force fed, regurgitated shit, being told what to say, when to say it, being told not to use bad language, being told to be an upstanding person in the community. That's all great and everything. That's great. But when you start losing your identity and you start becoming assimilated into that mantra of I have to do this in order to be professional, I have to do this to be right, I can't have a voice, I have to be, this is the example, this is the template that I have to follow, then that's when you lose your humanity. In my personal opinion, you lose your soul, because you have to speak your mind. And if people don't like it, this is the way it is. Everybody knows I speak my mind in the show.
Well, the other fun part about having like a long form discussion like this,
Yeah.
even Guro Brian and I are going to disagree on stuff because I mean that's part of the fun, anyways. Because with just two people are confirming the bias, that there's no work done. So we need disagreements. I mean, through Discord and disagreement, we can have a discussion. So with that, I mean, like I said, Guro Brian and I aren't going to agree with everything, and that's okay. And that's actually what we really want.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there may be something in art I think is complete shit, and I will make it known. Like, this is my opinion. I think that's bullshit, and you can be, you probably say like, well, this is my reasons. Just think of it like what's that show called? The one that gets the dude that gets left. Undisputed.
Yep.
Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Who's gonna be Skip Bayless? Am I gonna be Skip Bayless?
I don't know. We'll figure that one out. Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, and there may be times I may be, I may be compassionate to what he's saying and may agree with him. You know what I mean? But so enough of the mantra now. You guys know where we're coming from. I think I don't have to beat a dead horse. Everybody knows where we're coming from now. So let's get to the guest. June 5th will be our first guest. Is GM Ron Saturno Serrata, boss of Screama. Although the show will be different because we're not going to be talking about his whole history behind Serrata Screama. This is going to be more of a discussion focused on his actual experiences he's had in the streets of Stockton, which is one of the highest gang capital of California. A lot of gang violence there, murders, robberies, just general gang violence. He's had the opportunity of using his actual skills, but we want to pick his brain and we want to see what he's encountered on the street because we hear all these people, and already like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, this guy, whatever, and it's that. Okay, that's cool. Most people out there, let's face it, they're theorists. They're theorists. Very limited people have a lot of experience in actual violence. If you're a bouncer or law enforcement or some kind of military spec ops or something like that, you've seen the shit. You've been in violence. If you've been an ex-con, a gang member, drug dealer, whatever the hell you were, you've seen violence. And I think we get clouded in this myth of what violence is. Now, violence obviously depends on what state you're in, what region you're in. Violence from a place like, Australia or Canada would be different from a place like LA, Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is one of the highest murder capitals in the United States. Or, a place like, where you live in Alaska will be different from some places like Miami, Florida. So violence also depends on region. There's a lot more psychos in areas like where I live at, living next to the border of Juarez. There's a lot of drug corridor for cartels. There's a lot of border patrol. There's a lot of gangs here running shit for the cartels. Where Coach Kurt lives out is much more with Native Americans, right? And a lot of people up there just rural violence.
Well, we have Native Alaskans, and we also have the Russian Orthodox community. So those are two big, unique ethnospheres specific to Alaska. But we also have a large military presence here. I mean, as a result of that, there was a lot of the
Yep.
less than savory things that come along with a military post, like used car salesmen, pawn shops, cash pay it forward companies. So a lot of people who are preying on the young soldier, the young airman, and with that there comes a certain criminal element that comes along with that. So Anchorage has got its full share of opportunists, and there's also a high level of criminality up there due to a homeless drug population, and also just like the nature of people being around a military installation. So yeah, for a lot of people who haven't been in the military or grew up in the military, that's just there's a part that they don't see when it comes to like a military installation and the surrounding community. Because you would think it'd be really safe because it's right next to a military base, but that's not the case. Like Fort Hood, where I was stationed at, and there in Texas, Killeen is a cesspool. Killeen has so much criminality there, just right outside of the post.
It's just
And
like
I
I was
could,
at Nellis in Vegas, right there across the street. Prostitutes, drug dealing outside the main gate. Vegas. It's North Vegas. North Vegas is
yeah,
a shithole. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it. I lived there for a year. I couldn't wait to move the fuck out of there, and I moved to Summerlin, which is a nicer area. But yeah, any place out Davis Mountain in Tucson, dude, across the street, there's fucking homeless, hookers, drugs, gangs, graffiti everywhere, shootings. We're outside the gate of the base because they're outside a military base is not Shangri-La, guys. It's mostly a fucked up place to be where you don't want to hang out after night, especially when you get off work after your shift. You have to drive out the gate of the base and go to work. Where I live out of Holloman, where I work at Holloman's pretty isolated, so there's nothing really going on. I mean, Alamogordo is a shithole. It's a small little shithole town that's connected to the base. There's a lot of meth there, a lot of homeless there. It's just to be a military town, but you know how it is. You just explain it right now in a nutshell.
yep.
So don't get the misconception. Well, I live next to a military base, so everything's great. No, it's not. Somebody's selling their ass across the street. Someone's peddling rock. You know what I mean? Someone's robbing, carjacking somebody. Fuck, I almost got. So since we're on that, since we're just bullshit, it's the first episode. I got off work one time when I was at Nellis, and I went across to the Jack in the Box. We're outside the Nellis Boulevard, Craig Avenue. People are familiar with Vegas. And I got fucking held up with another guy on lunch break right there at the fucking drive-thru. The guy pulled a gun in the window. We fucking just jammed out and took off. They don't give a fuck if you're in uniform or not. They're gonna rob you. Doesn't matter. So I don't want to add that to the experience of the real violence thing. That's something completely different. But what I'm saying is there's crime everywhere. Like it doesn't matter if you're military base, or whatever. It just depends on the level of crime and where you live at. In bigger cities, obviously more rural. There's different kinds of crime and stuff like that. And I think we're gonna talk with Guro Ron about that on Monday because he's talking about growing up and living in Stockton, the shit he's seen, even the '70s and the '80s, and the shit he's encountered even now, with the gangs over there, and him training realistically for threats he sees on the street, and not training fantasy art shit that's more than likely gonna get your ass beaten. He's kind of switched his way of thinking in his training. So I want to pick his brain on Monday. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
How he's switching that. Also, the show is gonna touch on veterans. We are both veterans. Me and Coach Kurt. I'm an Air Force veteran. Coach Kurt's Army. Doesn't matter what branch. Still both veterans. Still both served our country. I served in the shithole area of the Middle East. Several combat deployments. Just seeing the shit over there, and I've been to Colombia to work for the support the C-26 Metro program for the DEA. So I've been down there. When I was down in Colombia, I'm just going to give a little summary. When the show starts, I'll give more background on some of the stuff that we both, as far as deployments. When I was there in Colombia, I was there to support the C-26 Metro for the DEA and CIA. That was to basically there to help surveil and take pictures of drug routes and stuff like that, without going into a lot of detail. And then we used to get attacked by the FARC. Everybody knows what the FARC is. Not FARC, but FARC, F-A-R-C, the Colombian rebels. They would attack the airfields, try to penetrate the fence to get to the airfield because they wanted those aircraft destroyed because they were taking pictures, reading their shit. They're taking their, narco shit is a big, $1 trillion business. When you got guys there taking pictures in their backyard, it's something that is not looked upon likely. So,
Want to know something really interesting? How small of a world it is. So, my father, who is an Air Force veteran as well, he was specifically Air Force intelligence, and he did a lot of work with the DEA and other three-letter agencies back in the '90s during the drug wars. So, I mean, there's some cross and overlap about that community and dealing with that conflict south of the border for us. Because I mean, we spent the last 20 years dealing with the GWAT in Southwest Asia, and then leading into what's going on in Syria and Ukraine. But like people forget about the stuff back in the '90s about and actually still in conflict about the drug wars. So
Peru now, Peru.
Yeah.
Colombia, not as much. Mostly Peru,
Yeah.
Venezuela. A lot of. We're not going to get into politics about the border shit, but I live on the border, so I see, and I have friends I train with that are border patrol. I do train some border patrol guys, and they tell me, like all this shit that's going on with the drugs and the migrants coming through. I mean, I see this shit every day, guys. I live here on the border. There's migrants running through the fucking desert down the street from my house. The property. It's something I live every day. I don't see on the news. But yeah, the war on drugs is never going to end as far as I'm concerned. Training these guys that do border patrol gives me kind of a sense of not a kind of like accomplishment, but like at least I don't have all the answers. I'm not a fucking grandmaster. I'm not too on. I'm really just a nobody. But I can at least instruct what I was taught to help them better their chances in the field of getting home to their families, to their wife and their kids. Even though it might be a small portion of what they learn, I'm still kind of honored that they will come to me to teach them at least some stuff when they're out in the field. But drugs are everywhere. I mean, drugs are in Alaska where you're at, I'm sure. I mean, methamphetamine. There's no way to get away from it. But we are going to focus on a lot of veterans topics on the show. If you're a veteran that resonates with you, great. We've got mission accomplished. We're getting through to you about how we know certain issues. If you're not a veteran and you've never served, you can still watch. You can still add input. You can still absorb what we're saying.
We want you to watch because it'll help you get like an understanding of the way the veteran mind is, especially like veterans in transition coming out of service. Because there's a lot of us, especially after the GWAT, that are trying to figure out their way, trying to like find that tribe again and reintegrate into the community and find that like identity piece. Like the issue about, and I talk about this all the time, about identity associated to vocation and then your valuation attached to that. It's like, well, you're more than your military service, you're more than your martial arts, you're more than these things that you do, because intrinsically those aren't the things that really last. What lasts is you, the person, who you are. And again, what you do is not who you are, it's just what you do.
Mm.
So like what it plays into, like in the grander scheme, back to this whole issue about the border and dealing with that level of criminality and violence and all that connected, looking at two average individuals here who have, yeah, a fair amount of martial arts experience, but the fact is we do train and educate a certain level of people over this protracted amount of time, dealing with the commonality of life, um, of violence. Because I mean, not everybody's a superhero. Unfortunately, not everybody's a Tim Kennedy. Not everybody's out there like leading the charge and leading the fight. Because the majority of us are just average Joes, just trying to live our life and enjoying what we do. But average Joes see a fair amount of violence, or see the trickle down effect a lot associated with that violence due to criminality, due to drugs, due to all those things. So really, the kind of things that we will be talking about is talking to the average guy, the average gal, the person who actually is going to be dealing with life as a common citizen who may be forced and faced to deal with violence that is common but also uncommon. Because again, the people who have these um, high caliber jobs, these people that are your operators, this isn't really the conversation for them. Now, there's parts of that we can have commonality, but like as average practitioners of martial arts, as average individuals who have a 9 to 5 job, who have a middle class or whatever class level of society that we're in, we still have the commonalities of we have wives, we have kids, we have just these simple things that unite us. And we are all faced with a certain level of violence, appropriate or sometimes inappropriate. And we're going to talk about like
Yeah.
how we've done and how we deal with it. Because I'm not a police officer, Guro Brian isn't, but we've dealt with stuff that required the police, and we've dealt with stuff that even though the police were consulted, they never showed up. We are going to talk about stuff that is honestly, we're just going to cover a lot of stuff, for and we're not talking about like changing the world necessarily. What we're going to talk about is like things that we can uh, cogently talk about when it comes to our understanding of violence at our level. And hopefully, as a community, we can discuss it at large so we can elevate our viewpoint and make us safer in general. So, but again, keeping in mind that we're not special operators, we're just two common dudes who want to
Yeah.
talk about this stuff.
And I'm not gonna come on here in the fucking show and try to proclaim I know it all. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of people on social media that know everything. You can't tell them anything. They know it all. They've done it all. They've seen it all. Whatever. And I'm never gonna come on here and tell you and come off with that kind of attitude. Like I have the answer for everything because I don't. In the end, everybody's still learning. Everybody's still going through the journeys. It would be arrogant and irresponsible of me to come on here and tell you I have all the answers. I can give opinions, but in the end, I don't want to cause any conflicts, and that's not the goal of the show. The goal of the show is to be open, honest, fair, candid, and challenge thinking. Get people talking. That's why it's about talks. That's the show. Talks. We're talking. My vision for the show when we first started conceiving this was not to do just to run the mill interviews. I don't want to know what the fuck you ate for breakfast yesterday. I don't want to know where you got married at, where your kid was born at, the first dojo you seen, whatever. I mean, I want to get down to the conversations and pick a topic and we talk about it. Interview things have been done to death already. Everybody's show has these interviews and we're just kind of a revolving circle, of the things I just talked about right now, and people tend to lose interest after a while. We always want people to be interested in what we're talking about, so we want to keep the conversation going. With that being said, we are going to have a multitude and a variety of people from the whole running the gamut of martial arts, boxing, coaches, trainers. I'm trying to get some fight choreographers, UFC, MMA, women. Women are going to be a big part of the show. Our second guest is going to be a woman. I won't reveal her name yet. She's very well respected in martial arts. I think you're going to enjoy her episode a lot. I'm in the process of getting a lot of women on the show, guys. Probably a lot more than what you used to see. If that bothers you and that upsets you, then maybe you should watch another show, because we are going to have a lot of women on there, and we want to give them a voice because they are sisters in the art. They're just as important as any guy that's on here. Their contributions have this, if same, if not more than anybody else, not less than anybody else.
Oh, their viewpoint alone,
Yeah.
the perspective on things is going to be completely unique and different. If you want somebody who actually wants to talk about women's self-defense, it shouldn't be another dude talking about women's self-defense. We should hear it from a woman and her perspective of her care and concern, her and the quality and the things that she wants to focus on, because the priorities and the other aspect, there's this simple fact of physics and physicality, the differences between men and women. So I personally would love to hear a woman's perspective on self-defense.
And we will, and we are blessed to have this person on here. And she pulls no punches, trust me.
The other thing, which is cool about
like it is, I don't care about go ahead.
Well, the other thing is cool about our name of our podcast, because I've had a couple of people asking about it. So the Fight House Talks podcast, it kind of rolls, but it doesn't roll off the tongue. It's kind of a play off of the phrase "the fireside talks." Think about when you're camping. Think about sitting there next to a fireplace. This is the time where people actually could talk about stuff, where the young were educated by the old, and there was a sharing of thoughts and ideas, and then you can actually sit there and digest some very interesting information. So, and with this, because it's tailored towards martial arts and athletics, I mean, Fight House. Because, I mean, the fact is, like, when I was coaching, I would have little chats at the end of practice with my athletes and saying, hey, let's process through what we were doing today. Let's process it to, like, the big goal and lesson we were trying to accomplish. And let's have a little chat, because the fact is people need to have that time to, like, go through the information and ask questions as well. So having a chatting conversation like that is going to cover a lot of ground.
And not only that, with the people we have, veterans, women, kids, there'll be some other groups which we're talking about now, we won't reveal, that we're going to have on the show to get their voice heard. We just want the whole gamut, and I don't want this to just be nothing but grandmasters on here talking about, we wouldn't have practitioners who have no rank at all. People have already started, coaches, there'll be some grandmasters on here, of course. I mean, obviously every show will have that. I do want to have the younger generation on the show more. The guys in their 20s, early 30s, teens. Those guys are going to be the future of a lot of these martial arts systems. And we're not just talking about FMA, because this show is not. And let's just get that. I think me and you should get this out now, right? This is not just going to be all FMA, guys. My previous works on FMA discussion, we talked about FMA, we talked some C-Lot. This goes beyond that. Okay, this is everything. Okay.
Here's a fun one.
Yeah.
I love FMA. I'm a lifelong FMA practitioner. I am a lineage holder. However, I like boxing more than I like FMA.
I know.
Put it out there.
We talked about
put it out there.
Yeah. But some people were asking me. I'm getting a lot of messages of like, well, what FMA is going to talk about? This isn't. Let's just get this out here right now. This is not FMA discussion. Okay, I'm going to say it. You might have seen me on FMA discussion. You might have seen me on there doing interviews, for Dean on there, whatever. But this is going to be everybody. This isn't labeled. That's why it's called Fight House Talks. It's not FMA Talks. It's or whatever. It's Fight House Talks, which Fight House includes a whole gamut of fighting. It's combat sports, combatives, blade work, Southeast Asian martial arts, Muay Thai, boxing, Western boxing. So you're going to see a little bit of everything on the show. A lot of women self-defense, women practitioners in boxing, women practitioners in Muay Thai, women UFC, MMA fighters. We're going to have the whole gamut. And it makes for a better show when you're not labeled as the guys that just do this one particular thing. So we're going to do, and a lot of people have messaged me, and I've been getting that, like, oh, you guys just be like, what makes you different? One person, I'm not going to say their name. What makes you different than FMA discussion and FMA talk to her? Well, first of all, we're not just FMA. We're everything. That's number one. Second one is we're having discussions, not really interviews. The third one is we're completely candid and open, no censorship. You have the floor. We are guests on the show. I'm never going to go tell you you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. The only exception to that rule is there is no name calling, which we're not going to put out people's names by name or title on the show. Will not be allowed. You can talk about the person if you feel you need to, but as long as you don't mention their name, we're good.
A couple other things. Hate speech is a no-no. Yeah. Slander is a no-no. And terroristic threats are a no-no. So, and also, like, just an unwritten rule is don't tell lies, because the internet's going to tell you otherwise. So, yeah, hate speech, no-no. Slander, no-no. Yeah, terroristic threats, no-no.
Yeah.
Lies, definitely a no-no.
Things that are allowed are free thinking, bad language, because you have to have bad language. I'm sorry. We're military guys, so we use a lot of people don't get that about us. I mean, maybe Coach Kurt doesn't, but I use a lot of bad language just because.
I don't know what you're fucking talking about. So
yeah. But I mean, well, being in, I on a daily basis, I'm saying, whatever language, fuck this, whatever bullshit, ass, whatever. It's just a part of being ingrained in me the last 27 years, of being in, and now I still work with veterans because I work as a contractor for a defense contractor. But so free thinking, language not restricted. Always say what's on your mind. If you have to vent, that's perfectly fine. As long as it's within the parameters and guidelines that Coach Kurt set, I find no reason why you can't come in here and vent in the show. If you just want to bitch the whole show, maybe, cut it down a little bit. You could bitch maybe 20 minutes or so, but after that, let's get back on task and get it back on topic again. But I think that's going to set a lot apart from a lot of shows, because the guests will have the free reign of the chat room. I don't ever want to restrict anybody and tell anybody what they got to say. I don't want to coach you. I don't want to, before we come on the show, have to message you and tell you, don't say this, don't say that. We'll bring a negative light. This, you just to get your point across. Sometimes you have to be honest and truthful, and it might hurt some people, but if you need to get your message across in that way, then that's what you need to do it. So I'm open to that, and I think Kurt's open to that too.
On the other side of that, so as a part of my recovery process, I believe in candidness and absolute blunt honesty. One could say brutal honesty. Because what that does, it holds me accountable and holds everybody else accountable to understanding my boundaries. And with that, there is no second guessing, and there's no second guessing as to if I'm trying to manipulate. Because again, part of my recovery is dealing with manipulation. Because when you're lying to everybody about your recovery process, you're doing things to manipulate them. And so it's a problem. So with that, I'm fairly candid. I believe in brutal honesty. And with that comes this understanding and expectation of, because of brutal honesty, there is a ripple effect. There's accountability of whatever I say, something in the ether is going to have a response to it. So that's that part of a conversation anyways, is, well, we can say something, but there's a response. But we need to have that opportunity to say what we're going to say. But again, the accountability is we can't be in charge of the result, the response, the rebuttal. So, and just the same like everything else that we do in the world. And it's funny because, like, talking in the space that is the internet, it seems like in a lot of ways that we're like educating people on things that should be common and should be known. But even better, it's not even education. It's just like talking about stuff that should be common and understood.
Mhm.
But for some reason, we have to talk about it. So, like, again, the whole ripple effect on social media. We say one thing that's stupid, controversial, or interesting, there's a ripple effect of good, bad, and otherwise that come along
Mhm.
with it. So, what ends up being is we get channeled into this idea of confirmation bias and an echo chamber of we have to say the things so we can make sure we have good leads. We have to say the things because we don't want to have negative impact. We don't want to say the things because we want to make sure we have good viewership. The problem with that thinking, that self censorship in a lot of ways, is what it is. It's self censorship, and to a point, it's manipulation. So we want to make sure that when we talk about stuff, and this is just in general for people, is when we talk about stuff, we want to be candid, we want to be honest, we want to be free of manipulation and ego. But as a result of that, sometimes we're going to say things that hurt people's feelings. Now, if we're malicious, that's a problem, but we should say things intentionally. And
Yeah.
with that, the intention though is say our piece, but also with the other aspect of there is that agency aspect of we have the free agency to say what we want, but the other person also has their agency to say whatever they
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
and deal with
And
that
there
responsibility.
may be guests on the show that don't agree with what we got to say. Does it mean that that's a lead into an argument? No, it's an intelligent conversation between two people. Um, if you want to talk off air messenger after the show, then yeah, you're free to do so. But it's like I said, it's to challenge you, the audience, to think about what we're talking about. We want you to, to not just take at face value what we're saying. We want you to absorb what we're saying, our message. Last time we talked to Coach Kurt, we were talking about mental health. That seemed to resonate with a lot of people. That will be a continued topic on this show at some point in time where we talk about the mental health aspect of martial arts healing and recovery, especially for veterans, healing and recovery people from trauma, how the art escapes. Um, this is just, I don't want to give too much away for the future episodes, but that will be revisited. There'll be a couple other topics that you might not have seen that are going to be visited. We're going to talk about fight choreography in movies. Hopefully get a student of mine um, is a stunt woman for a lot of movies. She did New the World with Tom Hanks. She did what's that movie called? Thomas Jane, Ving Rhames. I forgot the name it was. She just shot it with them. Dig. It's called Dig. I think it's on Hulu. She did that movie. She did stunts in that movie. So she's a student of mine. So she's in the movie industry. I actually did some fight choreography with her tomorrow. We're going to go over some fight choreography for new movies she's shooting up in New Mexico. Has a lot of movies they're shooting up in Santa Fe, Albuquerque area. Obviously, the Rust with Alec Baldwin's the biggest one that everybody's gravitating because that happened, the accident that happened. But she's shot with Tom Hanks, Bruce Willis. She's worked a lot of famous movie stars. I'm actually blessed to have her as a student into getting into the mind of the Hollywood. And I'm actually going to talk about having her on the show so she can let us know how to fight choreography. My specialty of fight choreography with her was weapons, knife and sword, from a movie she just recently shot. And then we did some fight choreography with some FMA stuff for a movie she recently shot, where she was the stunt double for an actress. I think that let's see who it was. Is it Kirsten Dunst? I think, or Kristen Stewart or something. I think
I mean, it's different.
Oh, Kristen Stewart. Oh, Kristen something was the girl she did for this movie that just came out. So she was talking to her. She did some fight choreography in the movie. So we're going to talk about that in a future episode. That's going to be a good one. You guys are going to get the insight of how Hollywood works with how their take on martial arts. Because her movie, her production assistant, and then also the associate director is one who hit me up, or the executive producer hit me up about learning more about FMA and how it could be used in movies. So she's met a lot. Like I said, Tom Hanks is a really cool guy. She said News of the World. I'm familiar with that one. That's one where he was looking for he was escorting that little Swedish girl through the Wild West.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she did all the stunts, and the girl that was in the stagecoach. And then when the girl was fighting with the Indians and stuff like that, she did all the. She was a stunt double for that girl because she's real small and she has
That's
blonde
cool.
hair. We're gonna have her on there. A lot of IMDb credits she has for a lot of movies. Future episodes will be what I guess coaches and boxing. I don't want to get too much away, so I want people to watch. But we have a lot of good ideas. Let's just put it that
But
way.
here's the other one. If you have a guest in mind, shoot us a message on the Fight House Talks podcast Facebook page, or any of our other social links. I'll throw those up here in the chat, anyways. But if you have a guest in mind, just let us know, and we'll coordinate and figure it out. Because the fact is, the cool part about a podcast is we get to talk to really interesting people that we wouldn't have access to in the first place. So let's talk to them. So again, if you have somebody in mind that you would like to see on here, we don't really care if they're a grandmaster or if they're a white belt. If they have something interesting to say and are willing to have, for one, if they're going to be brave enough, courageous enough, honest enough to come on here and talk to two random internet dudes from the hinterlands, in front of everybody, more power to them. So if you have somebody in mind that you want to have on here, we would love to see on here, or if you would like to come on here, just shoot us a message and we'll put you in the rotation. So
Don't bite unless
yeah.
Coach Kurt does with the rubber chickens. He does a little fucking hen peck. But I don't bite. I mean, I may be a little rude at first. No, I'm not. I'm actually a nice guy. Yeah, I guess I think our motto of the show is everyone is welcome here. I think I've made that for everybody that's been on the show. I've had several inquiries for people to come on the show. I'm not going to turn you down. I'm not going to tell you that you can't come on. If you got something intelligent to say and it fits the discussion that we're talking about, then you're more than welcome to come on. And I think that's what's going to set us apart from other shows. A lot of other shows got to screen you, and you may not fit our agenda to get a lot of views and likes, so we may not want to have you. I don't give a shit about views and likes.
Nope.
And I think I made this apparent before. If nobody watches me or one person watches me, I'm still going to be on here. This is a hobby, guys. We're doing this as a hobby. It's Friday night. I'm popping a beer open. I'm talking with a good friend, Coach Kurt here. We're bullshitting. We're talking. We're not getting paid for this. I'm not going to throw my fucking headset off. I'm like, oh, damn it, I want to watch the show tonight. We're just doing it for fun. This is a hobby. And it's something we're passionate about, and we just want to share the hobby with you guys. We let's just face it. Let's go ahead and say, let's have a kumbaya moment here. We love all you guys. I mean, most everybody that watches the show is leaving comments and who's messaged me, or I consider of great value, and I respect them. I might bust the balls here and there by talking shit with them on Messenger, but it's all in fun. At the end of the day, I will respect you. And we just love all of the audience. I mean, like most of the people that we encounter, with the exception of a couple, people, are great people in the community, and they're people that have value, even though they don't think they do. They add value with their conversations. I've never turned anybody down who gives me advice on getting a guest. So please message if you have a guest, and we will consider that. Oh, I came off. I came back on.
I'm playing with it.
Are you fucking with it? Come on, dude. I knew you were because I seen my face get all small and look all because I was fucking getting buzzed already. Like, dude, I only had a couple beers. Like, Jesus Christ. But
I'm just hitting buttons.
Okay. Well, see, I don't know about any of that stuff. So, yeah. So if people are watching, they'll start freaking out. Man, the show's going haywire, dude. It's a test run. Relax. Yeah. So obviously, this is not a real show. We're just kind of seeing how this all works. We're new to this, doing it on our own. With the equipment, with the software. So we're just we're in the learning curve right now. We do have equipment coming. We're going to be more professional-like. I mean, right now, this is a test run. You just see my fucking Market Fresh pig in the back and, my living room and part of my kitchen. You won't see that in the future. I think we're going to evolve. It's going to take time, guys. We're going to have to grow. We're new to this. We're not seasoned. Paula Rubio's where we're doing this, every other day. We're in learning stages. We're not Dean Franco's where we're doing 4 or 5 a week. We're just we're guys are just kind of starting out, getting our dicks wet, and we're just kind of figuring out how this all works. But I think we'll get it if you guys is hanging with us. us and grow with us because this is a growing process. Everybody that's watching from the beginning is going to watch us grow. Just like you have that baby, get him out of diapers, taking his first steps, shitting in the toilet, pissing in the toilet, getting out of the diapers, feeding himself, talking, saying his first words. Right now, we're shitting in the diaper stage, guys. We're still shitting mustard right now. But, but we will shit solid food here sooner or later as we grow. But right now,
There's a soundbite.
yeah, our digestive systems will grow with the show. So we will grow, and we're happy that you're going to grow with us because you're going to see us evolve from these awkward dudes. I mean, I've been doing the interviews and FMA discussion. So I'm kind of like, I like that foam, and I'm kind of used to him. Maybe Coach Kurt, this is kind of his first time doing it. So he's maybe like, he's just going to kind of observe and kind of just grow into it, which is fine. And, everybody needs to do that. I'm not really scared. I don't get nervous. So I guess kind of like just go with the flow. And
I'm just here to have conversations, whether it's shitty or otherwise. Here's the other one. Talk about like our community, our guests, and just like anybody in general. Like this is the funny part about like the community that we both came from professionally. Is that brotherhood, the camaraderie. Is that if we're not razzing on you, if we're not, I hate to say pick on you, but if we're not like engaging with you, then we don't like you. So it's a matter of like being that we're comfortable enough with you, and hopefully you're comfortable enough with us that if we're engaging with you, that's a good thing. And if we're
we're never going to be disrespectful and put people down. I mean, unless we know you, we're going to bust your fucking balls all the time.
It's again, that goes back to that like conversational accountability standpoint. Is if we're familiar enough with a person, we can say what we want to say. Third party people, otherwise, they might have a few things on the outside because they might see it as an off-color comment. But the fact is, if the relationship between two people is as such that they're comfortable enough by calling them whatever they're going to call them or interacting with them with whatever way, then that's cool. It's between them. As for everybody else, I mean,
you're fair game, fuckers. No, we're just kidding. We really don't bite. But we don't ever want to make, especially our female hosts, uncomfortable. So we want our female host to come on, or no, sorry, guest, sorry, come on. Damn, it's beer's talking to me already. To come on and be comfortable. We're not going to be sexist. We're not going to be disrespectful. Obviously, female guests come on. We're going to change a little bit. Obviously, we got to adapt. We're not going to talk as freely as we are now. We're going to have respect for our female guests. I can't talk about. Just like, we're in the military, you got a female in your shop. You can't be talking rough house talk. You got to be, have respect for that female to the in your shop. We have female, obviously, the next female we have on here is a grandmaster. Am I going to be talking as loosely as I am now? Probably not, because I'm showing her respect that she deserves. And she deserves a whole lot of respect. So we got to know when to put your filter on, filter off, to a reasonable level. But, if you're playing with us, just like, what they say, like if you're on the playground and you're fucking giving it and you get it dished back and don't start crying because you dish it on the show, we will dish it back.
So like students, we both have students. We both taught kids and we have kids. But one of the things that we talk about is if you're going to play rough, toughen up. So common rule is if you're going to hit as hard as you want to get hit. So.
In other words, I guess what we're trying to say is if you're going to come in here and start talking shit in the comments, I'll listen to what you got to say, right? Because that's what we do. It's a show, and you're free to leave comments. This is a free channel. No one's paying for your subscription. But if you start coming here and slamming us, talking shit, don't expect people to be quiet. We're gonna be talking shit back to you. I will. I don't give a fuck. Who you are, whatever. It's just, you come on here and you start slandering the show, especially during a live broadcast. You're being an asshole, being a fucking idiot. You're going to get blocked and bounced out. Same rules apply, goes to the FMA discussion. But I'm still going to talk shit to you when you're on here. You're not going to be immune. I'm going to dish it back to you. So the best thing to do is just have fun. If you know me and you want to bust my balls a little bit, by all means, go ahead. Whatever you want to call me an asshole or, a dickhead or whatever I got in here in the comments. And I know it's all in fun. Okay, whatever. But if I don't know you and you come on and you start blasting me or Coach Kurt, disrespecting Coach Kurt, especially, this man has a lot of knowledge, a lot more than I do. as far as you start questioning his integrity as a trainer, something like that. Just give him you may have your opinion of him, or your opinion of me, and all these guys know what the fuck they're talking about. The newbies. I don't give a fuck about these guys. I don't know anything. Okay, that's your opinion. But when you come on the show, have respect for everybody that's in here on the comment section, the guests that are watching the show, us as guests, or feel free to leave. So those are the basic ground rules of the show. We're going to, from this time forward. Same goes on for the Fight House Talks Facebook page and Instagram. If you leave stupid comments on there, you're wasting your time, guys. We're not going to even fucking read them. We're just going to delete them and then block you. And it's not fun for everybody. I mean, if you got some reasonable, good argument to say and you disagree with something that's posted, go ahead and leave your arguments. You know what I mean? But when it starts calling the name calling and personal attacks, especially on people's families, because I've seen that happen before. Another discussion, people are blasting other people's family members on there, which is a big no-no, which says no purpose or place in any social media to be attacking somebody's family. That's an off-limits taboo subject. If you come on here and start blasting our families, then obviously you know what's going to happen to you already.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah. Good.
So when I came back to social media, and as everybody knows me as the rubber chicken dude, okay, my first major video that I reintroduced the community to about that self-defense against the rubber chicken and me stabbing the crap out of the bag, I got some really interesting comments and private messages about threatening my life, about disrespecting our sacred art, our sacred traditions. How dare you run afoul of our community? It's just so, I mean, talk about the ripple effect. But the fact is, I mean, it's unnecessary. I mean, we're here to have a good time, here to share the things that we love. But I mean, there is some consequences. Fortunately enough, they only go as far as they're going to go. So I mean, there's
if you're stupid fucking enough to talk about somebody's family, which has nothing to even do with what we're talking about here, then you're just a fucking scumbag, in my opinion. You're looking for attention. I personally don't believe in attacking people. Now, there's some people that do it, and we already know already. I'm not going to say anything, but I don't go attacking people. I don't attack people in the businesses. I don't attack people. I may challenge something, which I think is always healthy to challenge something, but I'm not going to try to ruin anybody or try to disrespect their business or their family, or they have a disability, mock a disability they have. Something like that. That's just totally a scumbag level shit to mock somebody with a disability.
It's unnecessary.
But there's people that take it to the fucking extreme, and they can't control their emotions. They have to be that one guy to be the badass, the Billy Badass guy to oh, this and that. You're a scumbag, you're a fucking dickhead or whatever, just whatever stupid. It's just a waste of time, guys. When you're doing shit like that, you're not helping anybody else. You're attracting, to me, unnecessary attention when you start attacking something like that. It's just that martial arts supposedly has a code, right? Like you're supposed to be, respectful, disciplining. It's like when you go in the military, right? Like I know I've had people come out and say, man, ever since you got in the military, you're a fucking dickhead, you're an asshole, you got an attitude, whatever. What they teach you when you're in there, that kind of fucking stupid talk. It's just like, dude, first of all, you don't know what it's like to be in, so shut the fuck up. You never signed that dotted line, you never went to anything. So yeah, you have no grounds to talk. Your conversation is moot. Okay, you know nothing. Second of all, it's like if you haven't been to the experience that person's been in, you have no leg to stand on to try to coach them what their attitude should be. Nobody should be muzzling another grown man or try to cut his nuts off or tape his mouth for what he needs to say. We're all grown adults here. We're men. We act according as such. And I am never going to filter anything you say and say, you don't need to be saying that, quiet. And I don't expect you to do the same thing as me. I don't expect any of the crowd to try to filter me. This is a show that we created so we can have our own rules to do what we see fit and how we want to see it ran.
Free speech is a beautiful thing, dude.
Yes.
I mean,
we both fucking put our time in for that.
Well, yeah. And I mean, the cool thing about free speech has consequences, as it should.
Yes.
Because We
Yep.
want to challenge thoughts and ideas, and we want to challenge the status quo, because if we're not, we're stagnant. And if we're stagnant, we're not growing, we're not succeeding, we're not progressing. So, yeah, free speech is a beautiful thing. And sometimes it's a problem for people who have a conflict in ideology, or just a disbelief, or a counter position. But the fact is, free agency and free speech are beautiful things. And this is where, again, having long form conversations like this allows us to actually utilize that free speech and process through stuff that we agree with, we disagree with, or things we're just trying to figure out. So, yeah,
And and I do want to stay on there before we want to go in here soon.
yeah.
Comments and suggestions are always welcomed. Okay, if you have a comment suggestion that you may think that the show can improve it somehow, okay, that's fine. But do not coach me in my own show and tell me what I need to do and where I need to go with it, because this is our show. We do what we want as we see please. If you want to do that, make your own show. Do what I did. It's easy to do, guys. If you don't like something, change it. Stop fucking sitting on the sidelines, being a cunt, bitching about it, and do something about it. If you just sit there and cry, these fucking guys are these fucking go do your own goddamn show. Go on, do what we did. We've been playing this for a while, and do it. Don't sit there and be a victim, play victim, and bitch about you have no way out when you got the power to change your own path and do what you want to do. If you got something to say and you don't like the way we're doing it, make your own thing and do it. I encourage healthy competition.
Well, again, that goes back to free agency and free speech. If you don't like it, don't agree with it, you don't have to listen to it. If you want something, go after it. It's being proactive, not being stagnant,
And
not being.
yeah, I am. What you just said hits the nail on the head.
Mhm.
I am proud of myself and you for actually brainstorming this idea and not being, well, should we do it? Well, no, we might piss some people off. No, let's not do it. We just said, fuck it. We're going to do this. We're passionate about this. We got a vision. We have a mission statement. We have, although this is a hobby, it's something we're passionate about. We want to do. I mean, I could be doing a million different things on Friday night. I could be out watching movies, barbecuing, sitting on my couch, doing whatever. But I'm here because I like this. I love this. I love the art, different martial arts, combatives. And I did something about it. I was, doing something where I was at a point in my life where I was like, I need to do my own thing. I need to branch out and do my own thing. And I need to say what I got to say without restriction, without censorship. And I'm going to do it. And I just said, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say, go.
Let's talk about fuck it. Because the fact is, fuck it is a very powerful statement. People don't like hearing it, but it's a powerful statement. Because,
yes, it is.
I mean, guy or gal standing in the ring, the train up to that, it's like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Standing to with the barbarians at the gate, I'm pretty sure at any point in warfare, there was a point in the soldiers there said, fuck it, let's deal with it. I mean, it's not a resignation of I have no other options. It can be, but realistically, it's a war cry for change. It's a something that helps us initiate away from stagnation and being proactive. So yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Now, like I said, tonality can be different.
And let's get this out in the air now that people are watching. So my decision to not do interviews and FM discussion was solely my own to do it. I'll always be grateful for what Guro Dean is got me on the show to get the experience doing the show on there, right? But at one point, everybody needs to do their own thing and need to branch off. The same thing if you're training with a trainer. If you feel that person has not taught you enough, it's your journey. You have to go on and do with another trainer, other instructors. Well, at the point, I felt that my creativity was not being used to its full potential. Obviously, it wasn't my show. This is my show now. Well, our show. I'm able to have freedom, creative freedom. Creative freedom is a big thing, especially for me. I have so many ideas up in this head, Believe it or not, in this big old fucking bald head here, I have a lot of fucking ideas. And I felt that my ideas need to go out. And that's why my decision was to, and I didn't even really leave him on this. I'm still a moderator on there. I just don't do interviews anymore. So let's get that straight as well too. Nobody ever abandoned it. Nobody just fucking jumped out and like, oh fuck it, I'm out here. It's just the bill report had to be cut. I felt, and I had to just grow with the and do my own thing. And I'm glad I did because now I have total freedom and control of content, guests, how long it's going to be, what I can say and I can't say, and it feels fucking fantastic, fucking fantastic. And
Well,
I love
dude, I mean, here's the fun part. I'm a huge literary nerd, a huge sci-fi nerd. I'm just a big nerd in general. Literary theory is a big part of my education. So let's talk about like the hero's journey. Okay, the hero's journey isn't necessarily about a young man only doing one thing. It's a progress. It's constant throughout life. It's like the whole thing about I constantly ask, what is your why? And the why isn't the same thing every day, all day for the rest of your life. Why changes. So when it comes to the hero's journey and the journey of an individual, I mean that it's little victories, little accomplishments leading to bigger accomplishments. Because life is about experiences. Because in the end of it all, what are we other than a summation of our experiences, the things that we learned, things that we failed at, things that we succeeded at? So you have to have that space and freedom to go and do your own thing, figure out stuff for you, fail at it, succeed at it, have fun at it. But the fact is, you can only do so much and with a certain block of time um, at that stage of your life, just like the military. Okay. We spent X amount of time in the military that was necessary for us at that point. Now, it's a part of us. It's part of our history, part of our past, part of our identity to a point, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only thing. And just like wherever we do a podcast, wherever we do interviews, whatever we do in this space that is our life, those are all temporary little snapshots of the overall experience that we are as human beings. And people get so fixated on the camps of which they belong to, saying, hey, for loyalty, success, and also just that fear of failure. That's so the fear of failure is one of those things that just prevents a lot of great opportunity because I understand. I mean, the fear of failure. I mean, the fact is I came off of social media for 4 years after I shut down my gym because I was afraid. I was afraid for my life. I was afraid for views of people looking upon me for the things that I did, done, and just like all those things that were compiling on me. I was afraid, fear of failure. But that's a little part of my life. That's a little window. 4 years later, here I am. Now, here's the fact is, I fully accept that if I fail now, fuck it. I'll move on because
yeah.
I'm in a better headspace. But I had to get past that fear part. And that's part of that hero's journey. Get past that fear part, facing the beast and coming home and moving on, etc. So, in the case of like the podcast space and the internet space, like what we're doing here, is that we just have to move on with stuff and do our own thing, and that's okay. And
You have to grow.
yeah, yeah, you have to.
Can't be, no one ever says, even, training somebody, tell my students, you have to grow. I mean, eventually I'm not going to be your instructor anymore. You're going to grow and teach your
Yeah,
own, or you're going to move on to another system that you may enjoy or may like. And you're going to do your own thing. And that's what really this show's about, is doing my own thing, letting my creative juices flow, my creative juices spew to you guys. And you guys accept what I'm putting out there, and it's not the gold standard, but it's my view on things, your view on things, and I think it's gonna be a really great show. So, any closing things you want to say before we go, or
um, I mean, just fought again. The same things as we talked about before. Some rules: don't slander, don't lie, don't do hate speech, uh, don't do terroristic threats. Those are big
yeah?
common no-nos. Find us
Hopefully,
on
people have enough
social.
common sense to realize that.
Yeah, common sense. Everybody's welcome on here. We want to have conversations. We want to have candid conversations and cover some hard stuff and some good stuff. We want to have good conversations. Also, find us on social media. I put links.
Follow
To
us, guys.
yeah.
Follow us.
And if you have ideas, forward it to us. Whether or not we'll accept them or use them, that's up to us. That's our right and our prerogative. But we do take in every idea for consideration, and we appreciate you for putting forth the time, effort, and energy to submit
And
those ideas.
we're actually flattered that you guys would want to
Yeah,
come on because we're already started.
yeah,
So by you wanting to come on the show says something about we're doing something right in some way where you guys want to give us your time.
yep.
Because if we're total fucking dick bags, you're gonna be like, man, fuck those guys. I don't want to go on their show. They're a bunch of fucking, this and that. But by you messaging us and say, hey, I want to be on the show. Can I come on your show?
Yeah.
Says a lot about us as well, because that means that we have, well, not just being even on FMA discussion. People see me on FMA discussions. That's where they know me from. But you know my repertoire. You know my kindness, my generosity. And you could say a lot of things about me, whatever, but you can never, and you can ask anybody in the community about my generosity and I don't want to say niceness because I'm not always a nice guy.
No, you're kind. You're kind. You're your own kind of kind.
But I've always lent a helping hand to everybody in the community, whether I've liked you or not. Somehow, way I've had people message me all the time just to talk about things, just events, and I've always listened to you. And to me, that tells me that I must be doing something right. Because if I was a total piece of shit, you wouldn't even give me your time of day to message me. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk to that fucking guy. He's a scumbag. I mean, his time after my discussion is over with. As far as doing interviews, I don't need, whatever. But just that you guys are messaging both of us, not just me, but Coach Kurt says a lot about his character and his integrity. Where you respect him enough, and you think he's that much of a badass dude that you guys are messaging him as well and giving me your time, hit your time, and telling him, hey, I want to come on the show. I like you. So we appreciate that. We appreciate that 1,000%. You guys fucking rock. The ones that are sticking with us, the ones that are giving us a chance, you rock. Don't be afraid, guys, to try different podcasts. I know you may be loyal to one certain one, but don't be afraid to give us a chance. You won't be disappointed. You're going to probably watch one episode, and who knows, you may be hooked to me. Like, you know what? This is a fresh new outlook on things. I like this. I like where these guys are going. There you go. Friday Sucks podcast. But yeah, this will be available on replay on YouTube, right? So like I said, this is just a test run. This isn't like, this is just telling us what we're about, what the show is going to be about, what to look forward to. Remember, June 5th, post it one more time, Coach Kurt.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull it up again.
No, you don't want to miss this, guys. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be a good one. A lot of F-bombs are going to be dropped. So if you got youngins nearby, you better have them cover their ears or go in the other room. But we're going to talk about some good shit. That's why we're going to talk about that goody good. We're going to talk about that on Monday with Guro Ron. So you guys are not going to want to miss it. We're not going to reveal the second guest yet. We're going to wait a couple of days, and then we'll let you know who our second guest is going to be. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. And if you didn't watch and you watch it later, that's fine. As long as you see it, as long as you see the message we're having. But yeah, I think that's all I got. How about you, Coach Kurt? Any final comments before we go into this journey of episode 1 on Monday?
Woohoo! I mean, yeah. I got nothing. Other than that, so I do got something. If I don't respond to you on Facebook through my personal page, it's because it's my personal page. If you really want to get a hold of me, go through my Coach Kurt Elvis colleague fight team page, because my personal page is where I have my kids, it's where I have my cats. So yeah, if I don't respond to you there, it's not because I don't like you. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you. It's just I have certain boundaries that I have in place for social media. So if you want to really interact with me, go through my official page or on Instagram.
And if you guys, for me, I have no boundaries and no morals. So I've been told. But you guys can feel free to message me day or night, 24/7, guys. My mess. Okay, here's the thing for we go. I don't want to get all fucking sappy, emotional shit. Guys, with the way the world's going now, if you need somebody to talk to, please don't do anything stupid. Even if it's fucking me and you don't really know me that well, I'm here to talk. I'm here to listen. I'm opening that up to you guys. If you want to talk, if something happens and you got any problems, feel free to reach out to me on my personal social media. I'm not as cool as Coach Kurt. I don't have a professional fight team page. I just got a plain old Brian Rodriguez fucking Facebook profile with a bunch of fucking hooligans on there. But feel free to reach out to me day or night, guys. Please, please. I'm always open to talk. And the only reason I'm saying this, and I'm not going to mention any names, last month I had somebody reach out to me for kind of a cry for help. And this was at 2:30 in the morning. I had to go to work next day at get up at 3. So 30 minutes from time to go to work, get up, and they were having a problem. Obviously this was a problem with, well, I'm not gonna go into the problem. It's just an emotional problem they had. And they were thinking of doing something kind of funky. And we talked. I called in late to go to work, talked for about 45 minutes on audio call. And I didn't say, I'm not trying to say their life and give myself a pat on the back, but we were able to resolve the situation. And this person is not even martial arts related. This person has never been to martial arts. This is another person I know that's non-martial arts related. So I'm not going to make it look like a martial arts guy came to me crying for help. This is somebody that's just a friend of mine. But that goes for anybody who's watching martial arts. If you're a veteran or anything, please, please reach out to people. I'm offering it to me. I'm sure Coach Kurt will listen to you. Whatever. It's just that mental health is big for both of us. Being in the military and seeing the effects of mental health destroy lives, I'm offering that to you guys. I'm not a Sigmund Freud, or a fucking shrink, but at least you could talk to me and we could talk about things before they get out of control.
Conversations matter, dude. I mean, the fact is, the opportunity to sit here and problem solve through things and actually come out of that emotional headspace, that trauma response, or even just that point of crisis, conversations are important, even if they're third party, just listening through stuff. Talk about mental health and recovery. I mean, I've been in recovery for 4 years, and a big part of my veteran recovery, removing that identity, has been the podcast space. I mean, I reference Andy Stumpf all the time, but listening to a lot of the podcasts on there talk about veterans going through their process of recovery and letting go. That's a big one. Letting go and moving on. That's been a big deal for me. So in following in line with that opportunity, I'm taking that opportunity to be that for other people, because I mean, as cheesy it is, the whole pay it forward, whatever, the weight of knowledge, pass it on. But the fact is, we have the opportunity. Fuck it, we might as well. So
exactly, fuck it, might as well. Exactly. And like I said, this isn't we're not trying to plug mental health services here. We're not 1-800 Dear Abby shit here. This is just this is us for the love of you guys in the community, people that we see a value. We don't want anything to say anything dumb to themselves. Contact us if you need to, day or night. My messenger is always open to you guys. And I just want to let you guys know that I don't want to lose a single person that I talk to for something stupid that could be talked about. Anger or emotional relationship stuff. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to listen to you and I'll give you the best advice I can. And I just want to end the show by saying that to you guys, because like I said, that incident a while back really opened my eyes that there are people out there. Now, this person didn't even show signs of doing something like this, and they did. I also just lost another friend to suicide, another fellow veteran. I just found out about this through his parents. On social media, they messaged me, and this guy I worked with for quite a while in the Air Force. We're both maintainers, and they found him dead in his house a week later from alcohol poisoning. He drank himself to death, pretty much. He had a lot of internal demons from being deployed in the military, and I was kind of upset that I wasn't there to try to talk to him, but he kind of walled everybody off. And I just don't want to see it happen again to anybody that I care about in there. Believe it or not, there's some people on here that I respect and I care about, and I don't want to see anything happen to them. So if they're having problems, please reach out to us. And to end it on that note, it's kind of depressing, but I mean, it is what it is. But watch the show, guys. Like I said, Mondays can be good. and disappointed in him. If you guys are having trouble watching us, remember we always broadcast from the Fight House Talks page, right?
Yep.
Facebook page.
Yep.
And you may not have been able to watch this show tonight because you were kind of confused on where to watch it. We're going to have to start putting links and say, please watch us on the Fight House Talks podcast show page. Or if there's any way, can I broadcast on my personal one or no?
Yeah, you should be able to. I mean, if you just do the link from our
I don't care
our
like Dean was doing with FMA Discussion, broadcasting from his live, from his page. Maybe that might be easier for people to see. I don't know.
Well, the way this would work is if you just share the Fight House Talks podcast live broadcast from our Facebook page to your personal page, it'll show up there as something you're already doing. So, because that's what I've been doing on mine.
Okay, we might have to do something like that so we get people to watch. Obviously, I didn't expect anybody to watch this one or a lot of people to watch this one because it's different. But the show, I do want people to watch, so I want to definitely start pushing the advertising for us to get that so people can listen to GM Ron because he doesn't really do interviews. So I want people to really see this. But yeah, that's all I got for it. Thank you guys for watching, man. Spending a little bit of your Friday night with us. I know you guys got some beer drinking to do or some, some family time and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys are taking your time out for watching me and Coach Kurt kind of ramble on about some different stuff and use a lot of bad language and maybe some bad judgment. But it's all good, guys. We're glad you guys got to enjoy a little snippet of what's to come. So we're going to improve. Like I said, it's a test run. We're going to have intro music. We're going to do a reel, an outro. We're just barely starting, so don't think the whole show is going to be just like it is right now. So
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, we got to start somewhere, guys. And this is going to be like a full video production. We got to start small, and then we're going to evolve. So you'll see improvements in the next couple episodes. We're going to add a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I'm going to get microphones for myself and Coach Kurt. So we got microphones, or if he chooses, I'm going to get a microphone myself. And then we'll just go ahead and graphics. It's all going to come. Takes time, though, guys. We both got lives. We're both busy. So we're gonna do what we can when we can. So interview-wise, what can before we go? This is the last time before we go.
Yeah.
2 times a month.
Yeah, 2 times a month is a pretty good start because talking about boundaries, I live in Alaska, and Alaska summer is very sacred for me because I get to go fishing, get to go camping, I get to go enjoy life with maybe 100 days with the sun. So my availability is gonna be as that. So that's basically what's going to happen here. Now, leading into the fall, we'll figure it out. But 2 times a month will help everybody plan accordingly. Guests, our viewers, you and I, so we don't get burnt out because I don't want to be on the internet all day. No. So
you say you don't want to be on 3 or 4 times a week?
No. So twice a month is cool.
3-hour interviews? Come on.
No.
Man.
Twice a month is
damn
cool.
scared at. I'm about to find somebody else.
That's fine. Find some other clucker. But yeah, twice a month should be good. I think that'll be good for us to figure out a workflow.
Plus, guys, I will let you know right now, we are booked for at least, 3 months?
Yep.
4 months?
Yep.
Just because of the 2 interviews a month thing. This first month, we may have 3. I doubt it, but I know we have 2 for sure.
Yeah.
But we may squeeze a 3rd one. We don't know yet. But most of the time, it's going to be 2 times a month. And right now, we're booked until probably,
I think August or September.
August. Yeah. But we have a lot of people lining up for fall, winter.
Yep.
So don't worry about shortage of guests. We have a lot of guests. We're not going to be struggling, and we're trying to get people you haven't seen before. So that's going to be good. I know people. Not to say you're tired of seeing the same people, but we do get tired of seeing the same people, interview the same people. No, I do have some people that will be coming on you've seen before, but only because you have great stuff to talk about and great stuff to add that I feel they have value to have them on. So, and you'll recognize some of their faces when we have them on. So you're going to be, oh shit, that's a familiar face I've seen before. I want to hear what they want to say. Their story, but we're going to talk about discussion stuff. So it'll be good.
Oh yeah, cool. Let's prep for Monday. It's going to be awesome.
Guys, please join us. We're going to advertise the shit out of this flyer starting probably tomorrow. So you're not gonna get tired of seeing it, but we're just beating it in your skull. Like, watch FMA. See how fucking up already. Fight House Talks podcast. Sam, while you see that. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. There you go. There
This
you
is
go.
us.
Talks podcast. See, I've been indoctrinated already. I'm like, I need to get it out of my head. But yeah, there you go, guys. There it is. There it is. And you're gonna see these two smiling faces. So we hope you join us. Thank you for watching. As always, we will do our best to provide you quality programming, meaningful discussions. We don't want to. Your time is valuable. We don't want to waste an hour of time talking about the same tired, boring shit you've seen in other shows or other interviews. We want to talk about fresh things, new discussions, get you talking, get you thinking, and just have fun. We're gonna have fun on the show. It's not gonna be serious all the time. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna joke around like we're doing tonight. It's not a show for kids, to be honest with you. I mean, if you want your kids to be exposed to a lot of bad language and adult contents, viewer discretion advised. I'd say what, 17, 18 plus for the show?
I mean, every parent has got their own limit. So
Yeah. I'm just being responsible. Might have to have that parental advised cautionary lyrics or
yeah.
some shit. Yeah. So, like I said, you're a parent of your kid, and if you want to watch a show and you hear all the bad language on the show, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I'm just telling you, I recommend the show to be 18 plus or so, just for the content we're going to talk about on here. Just an advisory. I don't want to get any angry parents and their kids logged into Fight House Pod Talks Cast, and we're talking about, either brutal fucking stabbings and rapes and something like that. And then someone's like, "Oh God, these guys are vulgar and talking about this and that." And, so we don't need any angry parents, any Tipper Gores coming after us for parental advisory lyrics. So you were forewarned. You were warned already. This is your final warning. To turn back now, all ye that come forward, please turn back now. What does it say? Oh no, all that come forward, abandon faith here or abandon faith.
I'll
That was a movie I saw today.
Yep.
You abandon faith when you come through the door. So once you're in the door and you're logged in, your ass is ours.
That works.
Yeah. But thanks.
It's
been great.
Yeah.
And we're gonna advertise this, guys. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Love all you guys, and we'll see you here Monday.
Yep.
One more thing before we go. No test runs for interviews, guys. There's be no test runs. So when you get the interview, the time and the date is when the interview is. There's no test run and then the interview. We're not doing test runs. I'm not wasting my time with that.
This is the only test run.
Yeah, this is the only test run. We fuck up and something happens, so be it. I want to waste people's time by trying to set up test runs. Everybody has busy lives, and there's no reason. And most times you do test runs, a lot of the interview gets given away before you get a chance to get to the meat. So we want to just save the meat for you guys to devour. So
sweet. Well, see everybody on Monday.
See everybody on Monday, guys. Peace out. Have a beer. Wait, have a beer. Here you go. Have a beer. Salud.
Yep. All right. And with that, I'm going to hit
that. See you guys Monday.
Later.